Good morning. It is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's very cold out here, and we just got a delivery of a new chicken run yesterday. So join us as we build it. So once we got all the pieces spread out, we realized that there's a set of poles that was going to be sitting on the ground. And so what we decided to do, and we didn't record this part, was to dig in the ground, and we ended up deciding to only dig at the corners, so at the connection points, just so that they were a little bit into the ground and not on the ground, giving opportunity for anything to dig under the poles. So we did all that. We laid out the the ground pieces. We laid those out on the ground, connected them together. You can see we have our 9-year-old out here helping us, and then the 2-year-old just living his best life, walking in circles, playing in the dirt. Then from there, we obviously went up and reached up to do the connection points at the top. It went together really easily. Most of these parts, they just have like the little push button connectors. You'll see here in a second that some of them, the push buttons were stuck. And so Zach actually goes and gets some tape, and he's taping those connection points up just to make them a little bit stronger. Once we had all of that done, what we started working on was the door frame. And so there is a door on one side, and it's really nice because it's like a Dutch door, so it's split in half. So you can open the top half of it and, throw in your mealworms or whatever, without having to actually enter the coop, which we are still working on getting our chickens used to us doing, because we haven't had the opportunity to do that. So they're not really used to us walking around with them. Then there's these corner connectors here, and we were a little confused here. You don't see us doing it, but we had to check the instructions to see how these pieces even work, but they do. It's a short pole on either side of the corner just to make the corners a little bit stronger. And here's where you can see us going through, and Zach is backfilling that dirt. So he's filling in the holes that we made on the corners, and then he dug down just a little bit under. And once we had the base of it set, he's digging down so that we can kind of get those poles into the ground. And then I'm going around at each corner. There was two just little post anchor things, just like the straight things you would use when you're pitching a tent, and that goes into the corners. Then it was time to add the netting. So this is actually a wire netting, and what we're doing first is we're checking to make sure it's supposed to be able to wrap over the top 4 times. And so we measured that out, and then we just started pulling, and they give you a ridiculous amount of zip ties, and you just pull it over and you zip tie it to all the poles. So kind of, if you were to go out there right now, it looks kind of ridiculous with the amount of zip ties that are holding this thing together, but it's secure enough. They've been fine. They've been happy since we set this up. However, the issue that we had is that this wire netting, the holes in it were probably about an inch and a half. Like, they were probably the size of your standard chicken wire, but it's pretty flimsy. And so what we decided that we were going to do, and you won't see it in this video, but I'll post a picture at the end, is we ended up wrapping the whole lower section with some 1/2-inch hardware cloth just to make it more secure, because we know that we do have a fox in the neighborhood. This is why we needed to get this. It's because we've been seeing the fox weekly at this point. And he has been digging outside of the little temporary run that we had, and so we hadn't been able to leave them outside. They've been stuck inside that small coop that you see, which is just not enough space for them full time. So anyways, what we're doing here is kind of tucking the end of the wire under the pole and then zip tying it. And then we'll do that on each side, and you'll see as we go along, that goes over 4 times, and then we have to do the 2 ends separately. All right, I'm back outside after feeding the kids lunch and taking a little lunch break for myself. Zach, hold on here. Zach kept working as we are very, very close to being done. So let's see how it looks. And here we are. It's nothing fancy. So it's this like mesh wire. It's zip tied. And so it went over the coop. There's 4 rows going across. And then we got 2 rows going this way. And then we're gonna order some hardware cloth and actually wrap the whole bottom portion in like a 1/2 inch hardware cloth just to make it a little bit more predator proof. Like this is sufficient to keep the chickens in, but it's definitely not sufficient to keep our fox friend out. So let's see what he's working on over here. So clearly I forgot to record us putting the wire on the other side, but at this point you can see we are working on putting the wire on the front side of the run where the door is. And what we ended up doing is taking that one piece of wire all the way to the edge of the door and leaving like a little bit of overhang so that the flap overhangs when it's closed. And we also pulled it down a little so that there's a little bit of overhang on the bottom just to cover up as many gaps as possible. On the top part though, when we took that across, we did wrap it around the door frame, and then we kind of had to notch things out because the door has a slider thing that flips up and down, and so we had to leave space for that to happen. You can see we're like talking out how we're going to work this out, but also knowing that we kind of have to get it right on the first try because, like I said, our chickens aren't really used to us being in there, so we can't go in and make adjustments after the fact because they'll be using the space, and the only time they're not in there is very early in the morning when we first let them out in the morning, or late at night, and it's winter right now, so it's dark at like 5 o'clock, so we don't have a lot of options here. So we figured it out, and you know, after 2 weeks, it is working really well for us. So here we're coming to the end, finishing getting the zip ties on everything, and then we went around and had to trim all of the zip ties because there was a lot. When I walked away earlier in the video, I had gone and cleaned out the feed bin and let it dry out, and so I've refilled that, so I just put that back in, and so I'm trying to get everything ready for them. I also realized I forgot to record when I put together the roost area, the little ladder there, that actually came with it, which was really awesome because we looked at several different runs before we bought this one, and some of the other ones we were looking at were just dog kennels, so they didn't have anything extra like that. This one was made as a chicken run, so it worked really well for that. Now we're about to put the tarps on, and they came with like these little bungee loop things that we kind of struggled with, but anyways, so we're gonna do that. Here Zach is moving the solar panel that runs our coop door, which unfortunately the issue that we're having now is that we're just not getting enough sunlight in the day to run the solar panel, so it's not actually working to keep our automatic door opening and closing like it should be. So we realized a little bit after building this that it's not closing at night, and they have been getting, you know, some of that cold air at night, so we've had to manually close it, and we're working on some solutions for that, and maybe we'll have another video showing what we decide for that soon. But anyways, we're gonna put the tarp on and then make sure everything is secure, and that's gonna be about it. So a few things that I forgot to mention is like the size of this thing. So it is about 10 feet by 13 feet, 10 feet wide by 13 feet long. You're looking at the long side right here. And then it goes to about 10 feet high in the center, but those sides are only about 3 or 4 feet high. Also, this did take us like the better part of the day to put together, obviously, with me leaving for a little bit to take care of the kids. But we started right after breakfast in the morning and we didn't finish up till almost 3 in the afternoon. So, probably about 5 hours for two people to put it together. And there you have it. Here we are finished, and he's about to let them out. And I have to say, this is the happiest I have seen my chickens pretty much since I moved them outside. I think they've never had the opportunity to run like this, and like they were flapping their wings and trying to fly and like chasing each other around. And I just felt really good being able to finally give them the opportunity to literally spread their wings. So this was a worthwhile investment for, just the betterment of our chickens. So thanks for watching.
They can run. Look how happy they are. Are you gonna feed them?
This is good for today.
They're so happy.
That's a lot of room for them to move around now.